This is the Manitou Gardens in Spokane, Washington, and I'm up here this morning beginning our third week because I wanted you to be able to see something that was created with a pattern and a purpose, and it will lead me into what I'm going to talk about this morning. Hope you can get a good view of this. I'm sorry for the shakiness as I'm carrying my laptop so that you can see. This is one of the most beautiful times of the year as we're at the end of the garden, and you can see the pattern that's forming in here, and they do with the flowers. This is Mr. Eaton. Hello, life science students. And the reason I'm here at Manitou is one of the premier uh, parks and gardens in Spokane, and wanted to talk to you about the fact that we're going into week 3. Welcome. And I know it just seems to me like the semester's flying by and we're still getting off the ground. And yet, quite a number of you have already begun by turning work in. And I'm really, really pleased to see how well you're working, but also that you're grasping the concept so well. Today, I just want to um, bring you up to speed in lessons 1, 2, and 3, in which we're dealing with the cell. We're dealing with, of course, the opening and science as a way of knowing, and we're also dealing with the cell and the cell structure and function and cellular energetics. And by now, you've probably begun to gain a real sense of the order in God's creation. And for those of you who grew up with a high school or maybe a junior college view of science as a uh, uh, study of random chance, or study rather, of evolutionary processes, I wanted to point out the garden you just saw. That was actually done intentionally. There was intelligence behind it, there was planning, there was purpose. And that's the point that I want to bring to you this week at the start of week 3. We're coming into our fall season very soon here, and a lot of you are very busy with fall ministry activities and things like that. And that's all very good. But I want to point out the beginning of this week, as you get into your studies in depth, and some of you are maybe even moving into lesson 4 and 5, getting into the study of genes and DNA and genetics, that um, you're seeing pattern. It's very difficult for me to even conceive of a worldview that sees the world as having come about in random ways with no pattern, no purpose, no direction. And yet there are many around us, and many of the people you will be ministering to in your years ahead, and maybe are ministering to already, who accept that as a worldview. Um, an example, the endless cycles of reincarnation that are inherent with Buddhism and Hinduism, other Eastern religions. How can that possibly be with no point to life? And yet God has given us a point, He's given us a pattern, and ultimately the pathways through that pattern, which are very, very narrow, wind up to the gates of heaven. So, with the beginning of this week, I want to encourage you to keep on with your work. You're doing very well. I'm impressed with some of the thoughts that you've come through with your essays. If there are any of you that haven't completed your introduction, we're in the third week now. You should have your introduction up and posted in the community post. And this week, I'm going to be posing a question for you to discuss and ponder, if you choose, in the community post in one of the other sections that I started my blog in earlier. And I hope that you will take a moment to read through that if you get a chance and maybe respond. And I'm looking forward to interacting with more of you in this coming time period. This past few days has been a busy time for me and my family, and probably for you too, but we're getting now into the full swing of things. Once college football starts, you know that the fall season is serious. So, with that in mind, please bear in mind that we're moving very quickly. I hope your classes are going well for you. I hope you're off to a good start if you're on campus. If you're in full time ministry or other type of work right now, I hope that your fall season's starting off well and that you're able to uh, get your schedule set up and see things through. So for now, it's Mr. Eaton saying God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.